Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. Pretty excited this afternoon. We've got, actually, I think I had Andy the whole time. We were locked on him. So when I first started the show, everybody's going to see Andy for starting the show. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, pretty excited. We have Andy Klein on tonight. We'll talk about him if you don't know who he is. Very cool guy, and he's got something to show us tonight that is really, really awesome. And I'm watching the feed come over here, and I'm going to end up having to turn. Yep. Hey, I actually remembered to mute this thing over here, so that's very good.
But you have one problem. The
What?
main focus of the show is stuck behind the logo.
Oh, I can't help that. Change your name.
It's not me. It's Andrew that's stuck behind the logo.
Oh, that's right, because he starts with an A.
No, he starts with an H, but Andrew starts with an A.
Right. Well, that's what we're saying. The first name is what counts. So he starts with an A, Andy. So he's behind. What it is, Andy, on the thing, I've got my watermark, and whoever the first letter of the alphabet starts behind the watermark. So you get stuff.
I got it. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
pretty.
You keep a favor.
Yeah. So anyway, but we've got him. Plus, my butt's dragging tonight, guys. I've been at the. It's about an hour drive for me to get to that Rockler store in Altamont Springs, which is north of Orlando. So I drove up there first thing this morning. I got there before they opened. Been there all day. Got off at like a little 4:30. Haul butt back home, and we're doing the show. So my butt's dragging. I saw over 100 people today, and basically what today was, it was a prelude to me teaching classes. They had people there doing pins and some boxes and all different kind of things. They had a guy doing bandsaw boxes, and the main thing was boxes. But anyway, I just started making another box like I did on the live video. For those of you who didn't see it, I made a little box the other day on the live video, and they wanted me to make another one. And I just told people it was informal, not a class, just to gather around, watch me, and if you had questions, ask me questions. So I answered tons of questions, and I was solely responsible. I made sure I told the manager, Pat, I was solely responsible for selling a scroll saw today. So, as a matter of fact, I told him, I said, the lady come up with it, and I said, hey, Pat, and he's standing there, and I said, you see that? And he goes, yeah. I said, I sold that. I'm responsible for that. Don't I get a commission for it? And he started laughing. He goes, we don't give commissions to y'all for selling the tools. Nobody here gets a commission. I said, oh, really? And I said, ma'am, let me talk to you for a second about maybe you want to change your mind. And the manager looked at me, and she goes, I will tell you, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be buying this. So I knew she was going to buy it, because 2 or 3 times she kept coming back to me, asking me questions. So I knew it. I knew she was going to get one. So that's really good. Had a great time. Met hundreds of people. Met I would say over a dozen people that watch me. And matter of fact, I'm looking out there to see if any of them are out there. They're supposed to say hi. Hey, Russ, I saw you at Rockler today. About 10 or 15 people said they were going to watch the show tonight. And one of the reasons is I'll tell you in a minute, but it was a real cool reason that why they also said they were going to watch the show. But anyway, Donna Presley's out there, Jim Bashir's, Desert Bomb Woodworking, Paul from Paul's Messy Woodshop, Bob Lee, Jeff Robinson, Mark Lindsay. All these people are out there in the chat, and I appreciate you. Get right off the bat. Let's get it over with. For my sponsors is Devobal Technology. They do my website for web design, development, and hosting. Go to devobal.com. Great group of guys, and they're also doing several people on the panel, their websites also. I think Donald's is up and running, so he can tell you that in a minute. And also FastCap. Innovative products for the professional woodworker, fastcap.com. Great people. They donate stuff to me all the time to give away to y'all as gifts on the show. So that being said, got those out of the way. Let's go down the list, because we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. And let's start off with my co-host first, and we'll let him introduce himself and tell him who you are, or tell everybody who you are.
Tell him. We got a bunch of people that just showed up in the chat, so it's way too many to mention their names. They're probably people you spoke to, and kiss Mateo and Donald. I'm Charles Deering. And I have woodenvisions.com. My main thing is scroll sawing. I believe all my links are under the link section of woodenvisions.com. And I run a show on Friday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central, called Scrolling with Shirley. And my YouTube channel is,
Woodenvisions.com.
Charles Deering Scroll.
Oh, Charles Deering Scroll. I thought it was woodenvisions.com.
No, that's my website. I was talking about YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe I said website. I meant to say YouTube.
Next is Chris Ahern.
Okay, I thought it was my turn to be Charles Deering tonight, but okay. Hi guys, Chris Ahern here from the Old Cranky Workshop. You can find me on YouTube and on Facebook. And for those who sent me messages, yes, I have 2 videos in production right now. There'll be something out soon, I promise. So if you can't find me in the shop, you can find me down at the local pub.
Cool.
That's it.
Next is Donald Matthews.
Hello, I'm Donald Matthews. My YouTube channel is Donald Vlogsifies Wood Shop, and I promise I'll finish that box shortly. It's only on episode 9. I mean, anyway, the website, redneckknowhow.com. It's done by Livable, and I'm loving every minute of it. Still got some work to do on it on my end, getting things situated where I wanted it, but it's a pretty website. I like it. Thank you, Livable.
Cool. David Roby, R-O-B-E-Y.
Yep, he met you at Rockler.
You met me at Rockler today. Hi, David. Glad to have you here tonight. Jeff Robinson. Yes, we are here. Okay, next is Javi.
Hey, hello. I'm Javier Unzueta with Javi's Wood Shop. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for having me, Russ. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, do something useless and talk about your useless challenge.
I've got a useless challenge going on. It's got another week to go. It's April 30th is the last day, and I'd like all woodworkers out there to create something almost completely useless, because if it wins a prize, it's not completely useless.
Everything I do is useless. Sorry, go ahead.
If you go to javi.com, Javi.com, it'll forward you directly to the useless challenge videos, so you can see what it's all about. Thank you, Russ.
Great, no problem. And then Mr. John Schaffner.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me on, Russ. You can find me on Facebook under my name. You can find me on YouTube under my name, although it's a rather desolate, as Charles would say, it's a rather desolate page right now, but
hey, Russ.
Check it out anyhow.
I did get my pajamas on.
And Javi, I actually did some useless woodworking today. I turned a 2x4 into sawdust.
Excellent. The only thing I could compare to that is turning a log into an actual 2x4.
I got to read this comment. Random audio guy said Shelley created change. She wins. Yeah.
Pretty good. And then
I was going to say, can I enter myself for my dad?
And then Russ Meadows.
Hi guys, Russ Meadows here, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and just about as bleak, or probably even more bleaker than John Schaffner on YouTube. If you can't find me in none of those places under Rusty Nails Wood Shop, you can find me chasing Chris Ahern on that chair, trying to catch it.
Cool.
This is a family show, Russ. Come on now.
And then next is Shane and Shelley. They've been absent for a while. Good to have both of you back.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and it's so good to be back. It's been a while, and I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things here over at Know What Mom Knows, and so hopefully you'll see me back there again in the next month or so.
Cool.
We'll see.
That'd be good.
And hi, everybody. My name is Shane with Shane's Hobby Shop. I'm going to pull a Charlie on you. I am sorry that we haven't been on. I've been actually sick for a while. She's been sick, but we are back on. But I do apologize. I am sorry about that, okay?
A lot of people have no clue why you're pulling a Charlie or how you're pulling a Charlie.
Well, you got this going, Charlie. So hey, you can find me at Shane's Hobby Shop on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all of that. Come check me out. My webpage is coming up here soon. I just talked to the developer, Chase. He said he's going to go over and look at everything on my Facebook page, webpage, make sure everything looks good to him, and hopefully I'll have it up here very soon.
Cool. Sounds good. Just real quick before we get to our distinguished guest, Andy, this week I did a live video when I was doing some scroll sawing. So for those of you who watched, this is the lid to the box, what it ended up turning out like from the live video. And then I took it to Rockler today, and they had a guy there was doing some flocking, and so we flocked the box. I had a flocking good time. So anyway, but yeah, if it's not quite dry yet, so it kind of looks, there's a lot of extra flock in there. He asked me to let it dry for like 24 hours and then take the air hose and blow it out. But I think it's going to turn out beautiful. And then that's what it looks like. And then you can see the tabs that go through the bottom. This is the top and bottom is 1/4 inch Baltic birch, and then sides are all 1/8 inch Baltic birch. Just use the tab. And then I put a little backer. The backer does two things. I stained it real dark color so that the words would shine through, kind of appropriate. Mother's Day's coming up. And then I made it so that also that will fit on there and hold the lid in place. And then his suggestion was, I made it a really tight fit, was to squeeze it into place, wait a few minutes, and then take it out. And I did, and it made this perfect indentation around the lip of the box where the lid in. It kind of crushed the velvet in a little bit. So I think that's going to work out perfect where it looks like it was designed that way. So we'll see. But yeah, my first time flocking. I mean, had a really good time, and I know everybody's dying laughing because we were all laughing before about me talking about flocking the box, how it was going to go over real. I figured people would be rolling off their chairs out there. But that was, I turned this live, and then I made another one today while I was at Rockler. It's just like that one. There were so many questions, I didn't have enough time to finish it. I got about this far on the lid and ran out of time. So, but I'll finish this one up too, and then I'm gonna have to buy me some flocking material because I fell in love with the flocking.
There's so many people playing off of that flocking in the chat. I can't even begin to catch up with them.
I know they are. All right, so enough about that and about me. And let's get over to our distinguished guest, Mr. Andy Klein. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing well. Thanks for inviting me. So you can find me on YouTube, Andrew Klein, and Instagram, aklein2303. So yeah, got some videos and pictures and things like that.
Cool. Andy, for those of you who do not know, on his YouTube, he's a very accomplished woodworker. I've watched a lot of his videos on YouTube, so he does real good with doing his woodworking. But he's also an inventor, and that's what kind of intrigued me. And I mean, I know he does good woodworking, but I'm more intrigued with a couple of his inventions that he came out with. And one of them was really pretty awesome because actually Rockler picked him up, and that is his new saw blade. So you want to tell us about your saw blade first? Yeah.
So so here it is. This is the Rockler blade, but getting a little ahead of myself with that. The idea originally, I wanted to do something similar to a lock miter joint. That was really kind of the inspiration, except I wanted to cut both sides in one pass, and I wanted to do it on a table saw. So it's kind of similar locking function and surface area of a router bit lock miter joint that could be done on the table saw. And I kicked around a lot of profiles and hit on the idea of coupling it with a dado stack for adjustability in different thicknesses, and felt like I had something. So filed a provisional patent, made a video, and a lot of people agreed with me that they liked it. Kind of put my channel on the map, and set me on the path of looking for more inventions. So yeah, Rockler picked it up. They've been a great partner, really helped innovate and polish up that design, find a manufacturer, and so on. And it's going to be selling soon in stores in June, I believe.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What I wanted to tell you that I thought was so cool is I was at Rockler today. Did you know that they already have the thing in the store telling people about your blade?
Oh, that's funny because I went to Rockler yesterday, the Rockler in Colorado. That I didn't see anything. Which Rockler? What, this
The
is Florida,
one in
right?
Altamont Springs, which is north of Orlando, Florida.
No kidding. That's exciting.
They actually have a TV set up, and then they have a piece of wood that has been cut and folded to make a box. I mean, it's a miniature piece. It's probably only about this big. That's sitting on a table, and then it's got pamphlets that you can take, and it's got you on the TV using the blade, showing how to use it to make your boxes and stuff, or the shelves and stuff for the boxes.
Interesting. You know, I was in a meeting where we talked about doing that, but I didn't realize it was up. So you're more informed than I am.
Yep.
Jim Bashir said he saw a display at a Rockler store taking orders for it.
Yep. Yeah, and they're taking pre-orders for it. I talked to the manager. Yes, they're taking pre-orders. And so I thought that was cool. You know, what's more cool is I'm standing there and a bunch of people are watching this, right? And I'm standing there with my arms crossed. And I said, yeah, that guy, Andy Klein, he's a friend of mine. He's going to be on my woodworking show tonight. And they're all like, what? I'm like, yeah, he's going to be on my woodworking show tonight.
Well, that's great. Well, I'll have to see what's going on with the store in Colorado, why they're the one that's behind on that.
If I'd have thought, you know, I did, you know, how hindsight's forethought. If I'd have thought, I would have videoed a little section of it with it sitting there and you on there. But I kind of thought you knew about it. So
that's a logical thing to think. I mean, I had heard they were going to do that. I guess I didn't know they were up yet. That might be pretty recent.
It's up in that store. It's in the store. In the center of the store is their where they do all their or classes and stuff. And so to the left of that, where the classes are, there's like two little columns, one on the right and one on the left. It's a big class. And that one whole column is set up with that TV. It's probably a 32-inch TV with a table with all the information on there and then you using it.
How about that?
Cool. Now, what in the world gave you the idea?
For the blade?
Yeah. What I mean,
well, like I said, so it was, you know, looking at joint profiles, the lock miter was kind of a starting point. Now, the lock miter, you have to dimension the wood, and then you have to do a pass with one piece, and then the pass with the second piece, and so it takes a long time. You got to get the router bit height right and the fence right, and so I don't really like the setup and the time it took. And I wanted to think of something that I could do in one pass to cut both sides of something similar to a lock miter bit. So that was really the starting point. And then it was daydreams and what would it have to look like? And now it's asymmetrical, so I can't do it with a router bit. So maybe table saw, because I can do an asymmetric profile with a table saw. And originally, you know, it works with a dado. So my first concept was, well, let's just make a big blade with the lip out that represents what the dado does, and it'll just be a purpose-built thing that you know just cuts the joint. But that only works with one thickness material. So if your plywood is a 64th thinner or thicker, you put some veneer on it, all of a sudden that one blade doesn't work. So you would literally need a giant blade for every single thickness that you'd want. That doesn't work. Plus, you know, that's a lot of steel. It's expensive to be, I mean, it's a pricey tool to begin with, but think how much more expensive it'd be and how harder a sell it'd be if it wasn't a dado stack also. You know, if you're in the market for a dado set, that's kind of a sunk cost anyway. So it makes it more versatile. You can do any thickness because the dado set allows you to adjust for thicknesses. So it's just kind of an evolution of this is the joint I want to do it in two passes, to table saw, to coupling with the dado, to get there. So.
Larry from St. Cloud says if you go to Rockler's webpage catalog, they have the saw blade on the web.
They do have it on the web. Yeah, there's a pre-sale up on the web.
I got a question for you, Andy.
Yeah.
There's the SMB with a dado set. If I already have my own dado set, can I just get your blade and that's it?
You can't. I wish you could. The problem is the diameters have to match exactly. So in commercial dado sets don't have, you know, an 8-inch dado set isn't exactly 8-inch. Different manufacturers, even different production runs, might be slightly off. Even like 64th of an inch would be enough that you'd have kind of an irritating gap or an irritating interference. So we needed to make sure that the blade and the dado set had a perfectly matched diameter, and the only way to do that was to sell them together. And they needed to be sharpenable together. You know, we need a plan for sharpening so that the specialty blade and the dado can be sharpened together and the profiles maintained. So that wasn't something we were able to do, is just sell the blade and have it work with existing dados. So sorry.
And I'm proud to announce that I am Andy's long lost brother. Just found that out moments ago.
Welcome to the family.
Thank you. That's right. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Is that the only one? I know Steve French. Several people have been making some remarks about your invention, so to speak. Steve French, I don't know if you know him from Woodland.
I know Steve.
Yeah, he put out there, hey, I tried to think about the pet rock and was going to go a patent, but some darn person already had it out. So then Donna Presley put on there, yeah, I tried to give my neighbor a pet rock one day and I just missed his head.
I know you was also thinking about reinventing the bandsaw to have the big blade and also your thinner blade all in one setup. Have you thought any more about that?
I haven't. I don't think that idea. I mean, it was kind of half baked when I presented the concept. It's something I've been toying with a long time. It's a tricky problem. I've had some other thoughts on what you might be able to do to speed up bandsaw blade changes. That's really the problem you're going after, is it takes a long time to switch from a thin blade to a resaw blade. I haven't put a whole lot more thought into it after those two videos where I talked about having both blades on one saw. It feels like there could be something there, but I don't know. I think somebody else is going to have to be the one to really get that one to the finish line if it ever happens.
Now, a second thing that you came out with, which I thought was clever as heck, is about your the clamping system. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, this one. So this one hasn't been picked up by anybody, and I don't think it's going to be. There were a lot of clamp manufacturers that were interested, and we got responses like, you know, we've already started our product innovation cycle, and we'd have to retool and blah blah blah. I just couldn't quite get anyone to bite on it. But so what it is, I mean, really the only change, the end of the clamp has this sloped surface. And then it's also split. Let's see if I can get a good angle.
Yes.
Split down the middle. So it clamps. All normal clamping functions are unaffected. But it allows, and I don't have two of these to show, if you have two clamps, one fits into the other. When you flip it, bang into the desk. When you flip it 180 degrees, they fit together and provide four-way clamping pressure because this sloped surface creates a squeezing force. So if you're doing a panel clamp up, it keeps it all aligned. And a really simple, like literally, if someone did this, I don't think it costs any more to manufacture, and it just provide this extra functionality. So if you have a friend at Bessie or something, tell them they should get on it. But otherwise, this is probably going to be the last one ever made.
Well, not to jump backwards, but Jeff Robinson said, so if I understand you right, your blade comes with a dado stack too?
That's correct.
Okay.
Let's, I'm going to screen share real quick. Everybody should be able to see my screen. I'm over on, tell me if y'all can see this.
I can see it.
All right, Andy, which one of these would be your best video to show first about how to use your blade? We'll just scan through that one.
Best one for the blade. Probably miter fold box.
Miter fold. Which one is that one? I need to go down more.
I think go up. Actually, you know what? There's a video that isn't public that actually would be a lot better. Can I send you a link to it?
Yeah, can you know how to do that in the chat, interior chat?
I believe I can figure that out. Give me just a second. I never made this one public. It was a little. This was the video that got us the Innovate Award in Wood Magazine. So it's just a quick 1-minute explanation of why.
Now, not to be able to hear the volume, you're going to have to describe what's going on.
Ah, okay. Well, that'll be interesting. Hang on just a second.
Right now, all I see is Andrew. I don't see a video.
We're waiting. I'm waiting for him to send me the link in the interior chat.
I knew that.
Why you got me showing everybody all the trash I'm talking over here in the chat?
Oh, be quiet. In my chat.
Okay, so I put a link in the chat.
Okay, cool. I should be able to click on that. Let me get it up first.
Making a simple drawer is actually
all right. Here it came up. Now let me go back and let's screen it. I've seen this video. I think
Rockler has this one up on their site.
Oh, that's where it was. That's what was showing today. Then.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
All right. Yes, that's what we're showing today. All right, now can y'all see my screen?
I can see it, yeah.
All right, here we go, guys.
Yeah, we're good.
Real quick, Russ, Jim
Yes.
Tears wanted to know what was wrong with the first blade he got back from the prototyping guy.
Diameter was 1/16 too small.
Oh,
That was
that
the only-
didn't.
All right, let's go ahead and kind of watch this. And this is what I've seen this video. I know I haven't watched it today, but this is what the blade will
Making a
do.
simple drawer is actually a lot of work. First, the bottom and 4 sides.
Can y'all hear that?
Yes.
Okay, well, hold on. Give me like 2 seconds. I'll rotate. My mic is directional, so I'll rotate it around and we'll start it over. And y'all might just actually be able to hear this.
Okay, Russ, just so you know, I presented without the thumbnails on the way. So if you want to undo that when we're done.
Okay, no problem. All right, here we go. Let's try this again.
Making a simple drawer is actually a lot of work. First, the bottom and 4 sides need to be dimensioned. A groove needs to be cut in all 4 sides to accept the bottom. And then 8 separate profiles need to be cut into the sides so that they can be joined together to make a single drawer. Now, a woodworker might be tempted to just dimension one starting piece, cut 4 V-grooves into it, remove the corners, and fold the sides up to make a drawer. There's 2 problems with this. A simple V-groove doesn't make a locking joint, so the sides want to slide past each other when you're gluing up. And even if that is overcome, you're left with a weak joint without very much surface area. An ideal solution would combine the ease of this fold-up method with the strength of traditional joints. And by combining this specialty blade with a high-quality dado stack, our new tool does just that. This asymmetric joint can be created in any thickness plywood, and after 4 of these cuts are made, the sides can simply be folded up, and a strong drawer is created far more quickly than any existing method. Possibilities for this tool are limitless. Cut grooves around the starting material, inlay 4 pieces of wood on the outside, and install a bottom during glue-up. Release the 2 halves on the table saw, and you've created an elegant box more quickly than most utility drawers.
I am so dang jealous.
That is absolutely. Did y'all hear that pretty good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dag nabbit, Andy.
Hey, it makes it look so easy.
That is that.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, that's a commercial, so.
it doesn't matter. That is so absolutely. And I'm really very, very happy that the audio worked for y'all to be able to hear that, because that was up there today on the TV screen at the Rockler store when I was watching. Man, I want to tell you that it puts a whole new dimension on making boxes, like you said. I mean, you can make something in just a matter of a few minutes, which actually would took you hours before.
It is faster. It is faster. I might be yeah. I mean, in that video, I make it sound like you're going to have a box done in 30 seconds. It obviously takes more time than that.
Yeah,
It is fast.
yeah, I realize it. Yeah, it's not that quick, but my point is it speeds up the process.
It's quicker.
Yeah, tremendously.
Question for you. Now, obviously, your blade is not going all the way through the wood. So how far down from the top piece of wood is your blade cutting?
Right. So the official recommendation is 1/32 of an inch. But it gets to a bit of personal preference. I mean, the biggest problem with cutting all the way through, like let's say you cut all the way through and just leave the tape on the top. On that fourth cut, the sides are flopping around and it's not the safest thing. If you're using a sled, I mean, you could use a sled, do the same thing. And if you're doing that, I'd tell you cut all the way through. Just leave the tape, just so that just the tape is folding and it's a perfect join. But for safety's sake, leaving just a little bit so that the starting piece doesn't flop around and cause problems for you on the saw, you can leave a little bit more. So.
One person is asking is what is it going to go for? Do you know the pricing of it yet?
$349.99.
Holy monkey poop.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's with all due respect. Whew.
yeah. I mean, I agree. It's a little pricey, yes, but if you're doing something like repetitive, cutting drawers after drawers and assembling drawers after drawers, that will right there will save you a ton of money and time.
Pay for itself in time.
Yeah, Andy, I meant no
No.
disrespect in saying that. It was just an instant reflex. But
No, I don't blame it. So, I mean, there are people that'll probably be priced out and won't purchase it because of the price, and I can't help that. I can tell you why it's so expensive. If you want me to talk about why it's so expensive, I can go through some.
Well, it's a one of a kind. It's thick. It takes a lot of manufacturing.
A lot of steel. I mean, Rockler has been burning development. Their director and vice president of product development have spent a ton of time on this for the last 2 years. Just racking up costs, trying to perfect this and get it right. It's a new nobody's ever cut this profile. Finding a manufacturer that could do this profile and also do a really high quality dado set and hit a reasonable price. I mean, we worked really hard to find somebody. It's a funny profile, trying to get all these edges and the point. This is not something blade manufacturers are used to doing. So, new things.
Getting able to do it where you can sharpen it, because that's a lot of money. It's not a disposable blade.
No, it's sharpenable.
Jim Dockrell would like to know, do you have a background in engineering or design, or what do you?
Yeah, I have a degree in chemical engineering, so not mechanical engineering though. It's actually not particularly helpful with this kind of stuff. We're not designing reactors and heat exchangers and piping systems and things in the wood shop. So when it comes to this kind of inventing and engineering, I don't have much of a leg up from my professional background.
And for
Now, if you if you talk about expensive, get a good, not one of these Harbor Freight or the cheaper sets of a dado stack for a table saw. A good one is $100 easy.
Well, that, and if you stop and think about it, it's just like, and this is apples and oranges. You think about a convenience store. You pay more at a convenience store than a grocery store. The convenience of what the time saved using his blade is, you're paying for that, as well as all the manufacturing and that.
Right.
Wow.
So take the price off of $100 right off the bat from a really good dado stack, and I've seen them more than that. But so now it's down
Forrest,
to $100.
yeah, the most Forrest sells their 8-inch dado stack for between $300 and $330, depending on where. Now that's Forrest, of course. That's a super premium brand,
Right.
but.
Well,
well, Miter Mike is saying that for everybody that gives Russ a thumbs up gets one of those blades, and I was the first one to do it. Just throw that
sure.
out there.
Go ahead. Give me a thumbs up. That'll go over real good.
And then hold your breath for that blade.
Yeah, buddy. I can see that happening right now. So,
in case anybody wants to know, my birthday's coming up and Christmas is coming up, and I would love to have one of these blades. Just saying.
I played first.
They're still saving up for the bass boat.
Now,
I still think that.
to take into consideration for those who have a table saw also. Now, what's the thickest with the dado stack that will be?
The limitation is a table saw arbor. So with a big cabinet saw with a long arbor, you can do the miter fold joint in nominally 3/4 inch material, 3/4 inch ply, even if you've got some pretty thick veneer on it and it's thicker than 3/4, you can still do it. Now, if you have a job site saw that can take a dado or a contractor saw, you might only be able to get up to 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch thickness material, depending on how big the arbor is. So that as the material gets thicker, you're loading more and more dado on to make the joint upright. So it kind of depends on the saw.
Okay. Yeah, that was what I was going to say, because I was thinking about that when I was watching the video and you were talking about it came as a dado stack, because some of the brands of saws are not going to be able to handle that. Your big cabinet saws, a saw stop or something like that, won't have any problems, but some of them won't be able to handle the full capacity.
Saw stop will have problems.
Do you have a list of the saws that will take it?
I don't have a list, but any saw that can run a dado stack and has the arbor room for it that isn't a saw stop can run it. An 8 inch. Yep.
So when is this going to come out in a handsaw?
In a hand saw. Well, you can try to use it by hand, kind of a scraper.
It's a little slower.
A little slower.
I had to be the one to ask. I'm sorry.
Let me get what was over there. Okay, so the second thing I want to go over what would be a good one to show about your clamp. Clamp invention. This time it's perfect. How about that one?
That's the one. Yep, that's the one.
All right, let me get this loaded over here.
Okay, 2 real quick questions regarding the blades. Jeff Robinson, could you use the added dado stack by itself? And Jim Dockrell is asking, is it a 5/8 arbor?
So yes, 5/8 arbor. Yes, you can use it's a perfectly functional standalone dado. Does everything you'd want a dado stack to do.
All righty then.
All right, so let's go over now real quick and check. And I'm going to leave the. So we're going to try this again and see if this will work, showing his video. And I got to be careful with this, because you can get flagged for playing other people's videos. So hopefully
if you want to present, I will do the hiding of the thumbnails.
All right. So I might want to fast forward through some of it so we're not presenting the whole thing. My show don't get canned.
That would suck.
Matter of fact, I'll put down in there that I have permission to have your video. So all right. So let me go back to screen share. And then here is his invention of his clamp. His clamp invention.
Hi everyone, Andy Klein here. You might remember at the end of last year, I showed you a design for some bar clamps that could be paired up and give 4-way clamping pressure, in addition to retaining all of their functionality. And then that video got a lot of views, but the design was a little complicated, and right after that I released another video where I had proposed that the design could be improved and simplified quite a bit, but I only showed CAD pictures. I didn't demonstrate it, and I really should have sooner, because this design is really awesome. This is what I've come up with. So the only thing I've done to this clamp is remove this end tail section, I'll call it tail section, of the clamp, and replace it with this guy. So it's got a slope here on the back side, and then a split down the middle, just slightly wider than the bar. That's it. Maintains all of its functionality, does everything that a normal bar clamp can do. But when you're doing a panel go up, and you use 2 of these clamps together, they fit into each other. In such a way that each end has the slanted side, the back end of the tail section, meeting the heel of the head section of its paired clamp. And that creates a squeezing force on each side and draws these bars together to get perfect alignment on the panel. just a really cool thing. And I think without the bearings and moving parts and all the complexity of the first design, this really, I don't think, would cost any more to manufacture than current bar clamps. Really interested for your feedback. Oh, one more thing. In case you're not convinced of how much force is created, I rigged up this scale device and tested out how much vertical clamping pressure was created, and it came to like 210, over 200 pounds of pressure created by just one pair of clamps. So if you had 5 of these across a panel, you'd be creating thousands of pounds of vertical clamping pressure to keep a panel aligned. So please let me know what you think. Share this video. Feedback appreciated. Thank you.
That is totally awesome, Andy.
Okay, very awesome.
I'm glad you think so. I wish some folks at Bessie or Jet or Jorgensen, whatever Jorgensen is now, would agree with you. This one might not see the light of day.
I'm going to have to duplicate it on my set of Bessie's, just because, I mean, that, you know how much money that would save you from the bar clamps that you have to buy that will physically put the kind of pressure you're talking about?
Yeah, if you were buying bar clamps anyway, and you wanted the 4-way clamps, it'd save you money. It'd be simpler because one set does everything.
Yeah.
So,
I know. I mean, I know those are very impressive, but all the questions seem to be aimed at the blades. So if you don't mind me throwing those in there.
Go ahead.
Miter Mike says, I'll just read both questions and then let you answer. Miter Mike wants to know, to sharpen it, will there be a place to ship it to? And in my opinion, anybody that knows how to sharpen a blade would just do it slightly differently. Steve French says, will Andy clarify why it won't work with the saw stop? Is it because the mass is too great for the saw stop brake, or is it just the arbor size?
So the saw, I knew the saw stop thing was going to come up. I'll talk about the first one. What was the sharpening?
Yes.
So where it stands, and it might be farther along than this, as of like 3 months ago, this is Rockler's taking care of this. As of like 3 months ago, we had sharpening instructions from the manufacturer that could be given to a sharpener, and so that they could sharpen the blade and the dado and preserve all the important dimensions. So I believe what Rockler is doing, or maybe they've already done this, is set up some preferred sharpeners where they show them these directions, make sure they understand them. Maybe the sharpener goes back and forth with the manufacturer if there's any questions about getting it right. But there'll definitely be a way to sharpen and a place to send it. I just don't know what that is yet. But yes, definitely sharpenable. That base will be covered.
Yeah, Steve French is going to be doing an article on the blade, and he wants to get his facts straight. But I'll let you get to the second question.
The saw stop thing. Yeah, so why doesn't it work with saw stop? What it comes down to is compatibility. Saw stop, you need to have a brake installed. So a saw stop has a different brake for a 10-inch blade or an 8-inch dado stack. And the clearances on the dado stack are pretty small. You can turn something and change the position of the brake on the 8-inch dado stack, but it's not, that brake cartridge isn't made for a profile like this. There's no guarantee it'll work correctly and catch in the right way, and the distance will be too far away from it anyway, and the diameter at the very tip of this blade is more than 8 inches, so it doesn't fit. So there was no way to do this and make it compatible with the existing 8-inch.
But Andy, the blade will clear the saw stop, I would imagine, right? When it's
nope,
not at all. It won't clear the blade being installed.
Not with the 8-inch brake cartridge. I mean, you can load it up. You can put it in a saw stop, but without the cartridge in, it won't run.
Right. I was thinking you kind of don't need it because hopefully you don't need it because you have boxes.
The saw won't even run though. I mean, there's a bypass mode, but the bypass mode doesn't get you around the brake cartridge sensing the blade. So first the brake cartridge has to sense the blade. Then you can run it in bypass if you have wet wood or whatever, but you can't put it in bypass have no cartridge in and have it work. That's just the way the saw stops are programmed. Just the nature of this. There was literally no way to make it compatible.
Right. The bottom line is the cartridge has to be in there. Period.
I wonder if saw stop will ever try to work with an adaptation in some way to allow your blade.
On a side note, with that being, how much did you say it was? 349? 349?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather lose a finger than have that saw stop tear up that blade. Just saying.
Yeah. Somebody, Jim Dockrell said, but would it work with a Bosch Reacts? There's not going to be any more Bosch Reacts. From my understanding, Sawsoft got the cease and desist order approved, so they can no longer do the Bosch Reacts in the United States of America.
Why is it too close to a saw stop?
Yes, the judge ruled that it was too close to the invention of the saw stop, so they issued a cease and desist order. So
and Miter Mike is blaming Andy that he can't buy a saw stop now.
But that's it on that. We'll go into that as a different story, but that's all. Yeah. So there is going to be no Bosch React sold in the United States.
There you go. Don't mess with SawStop. They got lots of lawyers.
Yeah, got lots of money.
When they first did it, I even admitted, I'm like, wow, that's really, really, really close to them. But let's don't go down that path, because that's a long journey that we could get into all night long about the big bad SawStop. And I want to tell you, I understand SawStop. I would be kind of agitated too. Somebody come up with something, because that's their own little thing. And I got the opportunity. I have used one of the saw stops. They have one at the Rockler store that you can use. It's a nice saw. So it's not only the convenience of saving your little digits. The saw is a very, very nice cabinet saw.
Yeah. Well, if Freud came out with some like little tweak on this profile that infringed on the patent, and started selling this, you better believe I'd do the same thing that SawStop did. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. So,
well, Jim Dockrell says in Canada they still sell that Bosch.
Yeah. It was only the United States that order came through. So
yeah.
But great ideas on the. I love the clamps. I mean, I love the blade too. Don't get me wrong, but I love those clamps, because it's always been an issue with when you're doing larger panels like that, of keeping the tight. And some of the clamps systems that are out there are very, very, very expensive, and that takes a normal set of Bessie or Jorson, whatever. That takes a normal set of those clamps and turns it into those type of clamps. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make me a set of those. I'm gonna have to. That's pretty cool. And I hope. I know my little show ain't gonna get you the attention, but I hope somewhere out. Have you? Somebody posted that in there. Have you talked to FastCap about it?
Weren't interested. They really close. They almost bid, but decided not to.
Oh, okay.
Michael Chipser was saying the Bosch was different enough in his opinion. He said it uses different tech.
It does, but it's still there. Yeah. Pretty close.
Some was too close.
Yeah. Well, the judge approved the cease and desist order for right now to block it. I think they're still going further into court, Bosch is, to see if they can rebuttal it or whatever on down the line. But as of right now, they're not going to be able to sell them in the United States. So
you'd have to read all of SawStop's patents. Their patents might cover more ground than just the tool itself. And I haven't done that, so I'm not commenting one way or another.
Yeah.
Jim Dockrell says the SawStop owner is a patent attorney and has it worded very vaguely.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Jeff Robinson says, Russ, have you done the hot dog test on the saw? No, I haven't done the hot dog test on the SawStop, but I got this news for you. If everybody is so sure that thing, why don't you just use your finger? I mean,
I've never been that confident.
Would you put your finger up on it?
I didn't invent the darn thing, but I don't see if they're so confident that one of the big wigs will stick his finger up there on it.
That thing may stop and keep you from losing a finger, but I guarantee you that blade's still gonna cut you.
Nah.
Just think about
It doesn't touch a hot dog.
I would get a fake finger like the thickness of a balloon and fill it with red fluid, and then make a video and sue the crap out of them.
Here's an interesting fact, and I did not know this, is that it needs, all right, your human body has electrical current in it. They know that it's readable. It's actually measurable and readable. So if you take the hot dog and made a little ramp and you literally roll that hot dog down there to it, is my question, because there's no human contact, would it cut that hot dog?
Well, it's based on moisture, so I would imagine it would still work.
Based on electricity and how it gets it out of the wood is a kind of a different technicality, but that's my point. I know it's not only based on moisture, it's also based on the human contact of electricity. And if you think about it, when you're talking about wet wood, it's because you're touching the wet wood, and if it's real wet, your transfer of electricity. This thing picks up minute amounts of electricity. So if you're touching the wet wood and feeding it through the saw blade, that's where it comes in contact with the saw and the wetness and your electricity in your hands and closes the saw off.
I'm just saying, I don't care how minute or what it picks up. I ain't sticking my finger in a running blade.
I tell you what, I got one. Whoever wants to touch the saw, if they'll take their finger and touch it onto a saw stop to prove that it won't cut your finger, I'll personally buy one of Andy Klein's blades when they come out and give it to you.
Yeah, give me a saw stop and I'll do it. Give me a saw stop and I'll do it.
Sorry, there's always Newton's law. If it could go wrong, it will.
Yes. And if we do it live on the show, you can bet you're going to lose your finger.
You're going to lose your finger.
And Steve French is right, because I remember seeing it too. He said the inventor of the saw stop did do a demo with his finger. He did it slowly, but he did it, and it worked.
Yeah, I did not know that. I would love to see that. I never knew that.
I want to see the paperwork, because when I was cutting meat for Winn-Dixie, it was $200 for a pinky, $300 for
Well, I want to volunteer Donald to do it.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
I can't say what I wrote in the chat, but
all right, guys, if you don't mind, while you're out there, there's TJ's come up with. Give me a thumbs up to make sure you like my video. We've had almost 70 people at one time watching tonight. I just appreciate that very much. It's all because of Andy, but I appreciate that very much. But I know some of you out there are from Rockler today. We had a few of them pop in that said they were going to watch the show tonight, and I just thought it was special. Oh, and another thing, Andy, that I forgot to tell you too. Not only when I was fixing to leave, they were kind of winding down with all the demos, and so they were actually standing in front of that video of you showing the blade and all that kind of stuff. But the manager was standing there to pat, and he was telling all the employees that they all have, there's a video on your blade and the technical part about the blade, and they all have to watch that video to understand. So when that blade comes available in the store, they'll understand how it works and so they can sell it.
How about that?
Yep. So they were all he told them right then and there, yes, there's a video on the computer that Rockler is sending out before these blades come in, and all of y'all would be required to watch that and understand it. So I thought that was pretty cool. I said, I got all kind of information you don't have, Andy.
No, I know you do. I'm glad I joined. I'm up to speed now.
But great. We can run over. I just
I did have something to show that no one's seen yet, and this is going to be probably the next product that I announce. You want to see it? And
do we all get one?
This one won't be so expensive. So, but I'm going to show it to you. It's probably not going to be obvious what it is. So I'm curious if anyone can guess what it is. All right. So everybody ready?
Yep.
Yes. If I guess it, do I get one? That's the Who's or What's It Dillema Whipper.
That's a doodad.
That's a bloody crap.
Nope. I have no clue.
Just pretending I have a clue. I don't know what it looks like. Some kind of brace.
No clue.
That's the next thing.
You want to tell us what it does?
Are you? Yeah, you just gonna leave them hanging?
Nope.
He just
right.
put it on the scrap box.
Charles, make sure you put down on the thing. Andy can no longer come on the show.
Until I get one of those blades.
Donald, you was muted, so we didn't hear what you said.
Well, Art Day is saying you could cut the profile on a CNC, but yeah, but that would probably take longer.
Yeah.
I said it's a bracket for a riving knife to go along with his blade.
Ooh.
That could be.
He didn't even.
He's quiet, so I bet you that's it.
He's got a poker face, so we don't know.
Jim Bashir says it's a Murphy bed bracket.
A Murphy bed bracket. No, not a Murphy bed bracket. It's not a riving knife either.
Looks like it goes in a vehicle somewhere.
No, it's
alternator hole.
It's woodworking related.
That is good to see what that is, but all right, we're winding down. We got a few more minutes, and I'm not going to be able to be on the Dave Gatton show. He filled the panel.
It's the part that fell off your saw. You can't figure out this where it goes.
I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, I was wanting to be on the Dave Gatton show tonight, and because my friend Laney's over there, Laney Shaughnessy, Laney and I only live about a couple hours together, and Jay was like, "Sorry, the panel's full." Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that.
Dan Ingerbretson says it's a handle for a left-handed smoke sifter.
A Florence Leedy. She's out there in the chat. Jim Bashir's, Jim Dockrell, Donna Presley,
Brian Summers,
Larry from St. Cloud. Larry, I think, was one of the people I met today at Rockler. I'm glad you're watching tonight, Larry. He's from St. Cloud. He says it's a thingamajig for a whatchamacallit. That's about what I thought, Larry.
Well, I guess that probably is correct. That's so broad that.
Yeah.
Well, I did say whatchamacallit, so I'll at least get half of it.
OJ's Woodworking Crafts. It's one of those Doomama flunkies or whatever.
Well, I don't know if I need or want it yet until I know what the crap it is, but you ain't going to tell us.
You're right.
That's one of those things that keeps this from calming down.
Brian Gidney is in the outside chat. Long time no see, Mr. Gidney.
Hey, Brian, how you doing out there? Summers Woodworking. Yep, Brian Gidney. Robert Crow from Robert A. Crow Mobile Home Workshop is out there. Good to see you, Robert. TJ's Woodworking, Old Cranky Wood Shop. Oh, that's Chris in here. And that's
just Chris.
Working. As if you don't notice, Andy, we like to talk about our chat people because they are what makes the show possible. We've had almost 70 people watching tonight, 68 at one time when I looked, so that's a good number. We still got 48 people out there watching us. That's still a good number. So
yeah, for some reason I'm getting an error. I'm not able to see. I got the group chat, but not the general everybody chat.
Okay.
For some reason.
Well, it's out there. Sterling Davis is here. He said Andy won my 9/11 scroll saw portrait years ago.
Yeah, okay. Earlier he was asking Andy who his favorite scroll sawyer was, and I was waiting on that answer. But Andy said no, me from Adam.
Never sent me anything like Sterling did.
Well, I don't know your address, but you are my brother, so
we have to send you something. Oh well, forget it.
I was going to give you one at the family reunion, but you forgot all about me.
I can send you a portrait of Donald.
I can make a portrait of Andrew, and I know I got Sterling beat on that. Sorry, Sterling, I love you, buddy. But
Charles won't even touch doing a portrait of me. I'm telling you.
Robert Crow.
Charles do those adult versions, so.
Might or might woodshop out there. Robert Crow's out there. Hi, Robert Crow. Robert gave me a big box of pen blanks, all kind of different wood for pen blanks.
All I got was a handshake. Thanks, Robert.
Yeah, he gave me a big box of the pen. I thank you very much. And he also gave me something else, a mini spindle for turning pins, I think, from for a center, a live center.
We have two more guesses on that Dumahuchi. Donna Presley says it's a thread tap, and Jim Dockrell says it's an adjustable multi-radius cutter for a bandsaw.
No,
And
this
Jim
is the thread tap.
Jim Brashear wants to see the bracket again. Assuming it's a bracket. Well, it's got something for free movement in the middle. We know that. I have no clue. I'm not even going to pretend I know.
Yeah, it's got some. It's got like a It's got something for like free movement, like a bearing goes in the center.
Yeah, good point there, Russ. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah. Still don't know it. All right. Well, we're rocking down here, just getting to the end of the show. One thing.
Earplugs.
One thing, Andy, we are people that become on the show like you, or the guest, and talk about your stuff. We do what's called Woodshop Confessions, and what that is Woodshop Confession is you need to tell us something that you did in your shop that was like the boneheaded, stupidest thing you ever did, and after you did it, you went like, "Why the heck did I do that?" So, what's your Woodshop Confession?
My Woodshop Confession. Oh boy.
Besides subscribing to my channel.
I'm the same. Okay, so I got one, and this was a long, prolonged one. So when I was setting up my first shop in my old garage, there was a kind of a weird wall partition that literally cut the area, the footprint of the shop in half. And I kind of built around that wall, and I had mobile bases, and I had stuff up on the wall, and I'd spent probably 6 months getting the shop set up with this wall. And my wife walks out, and I was telling my wife about how I had the mobile bases and the whole plan, and how I'm making this footprint work, and she goes, "Why didn't you tear down the wall?"
Did you tell her to go back in the house real quick?
No, I said, "All right, I'm tearing that wall down," and I had twice the shop.
That's when to save face, you say that's a supporting wall.
Yes. That's the thing. It was a useless. It did nothing. It wasn't supporting. I had no excuse.
Again, for those that don't know, a big congratulations to Sterling Davis. He surpassed 1 million views.
Yes.
Congrats, Sterling.
That's a big accomplishment right there, as passing 1 million views on your YouTube channel. So,
and Shelly and Shane, have you received Desert Bum sticker yet?
I believe so. I gotta look. I haven't been catching up on my mail here lately because we've been pretty sick. But I'm almost positive we do got it. But I'll check and I'll get back with you.
Alrighty then. Just give me earplugs. Go ahead.
One thing I would like to say, and I'm trying to pronounce his last name correct. He was on the show and did the powder coating. Grosslags, Chad. All right, I'll forget the last name because I'm gonna mess it up. But his channel is YouTube channel is Man Crafting. And I'd just like to say a shout out to Chad. He made these awesome powder-coated cups with Simply Wooden Creations on them. I mean, this thing is awesome. It holds like 32 ounces. It's actually hard to get a hold of. I'm not going to say that word. Well, anyway, it's just it's a cup that's hard to get a hold of. So anyway, but this thing is absolutely, look at the quality of that. I mean, that is just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, Mr. Man Crafting, I will suck up too if you get me one, sir.
Yeah, I told you they're $35 a piece.
And I won't be afraid to say whatever word he couldn't say.
But anyway, but a big shout out to him for that. I really, when I saw it, I was just in awe. I was like, wow, that's really awesome. He did a great job. And I'm sorry I messed up your last name, Chad, but it's Chad Gross. Let me spell it so I can it's Grosklags. And his Man Crafting TM on YouTube. So big shout out to him. Thank you very much.
I also want to tell Chad, thank you. He actually kept our good friend JP while he was in America. He stayed with Chad, and they went all over the place. They had a great time.
Yeah.
So, Chad, I want to thank you for showing JP a good time while he was here.
Yep,
Appreciate
that was very nice of him too. All right, guys. I guess that winds down all that I have. Any last words? Anybody got anything to? I know Hobby's already left about his useless challenge. So,
if you'll allow me, I'd like to plug one real quick thing.
Go ahead.
One person already asked in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that
Is
out
it
there.
about those stupid CDs?
No, they're stupid DVDs.
Oh,
somebody asked if my next one was out yet. I have 3 of them out yet, and go to the links under my videos, and you should see them if y'all don't mind. I'd appreciate it. We got 3 out. The first one's about portraits. Second one's about vehicles. The third one is about short-haired animals.
There's 3 DVDs he has out there. So once again, Andy, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being on tonight.
Yeah, that was
Lots
good.
of information.
Very
And I hope your blade, I hope it sells. I hope you sell 1 million of them.
I hope so. Hey, I really appreciate you having me on. This was a lot of fun. Great.
Yeah.
Too, so thanks.
Stick around, it gets more fun after we go off air.
I wish I could. My son's acting up. I'm going to need to get back to the family here.
Okay, no problem. We're going to get out of here. All right, we got one more thing left to do, and everybody knows what it is. Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody, and God bless.
Good night.
Shane wins the prize for the weirdest
Okay,
dance.